Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it.
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Bow, bow, bow.
I am Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
Welcome along. It's the Friday morning episode. You get it on a Thursday evening if you are a member of the Iron Filing Society. And if you're a member of the Iron Filing Society Turbo branch, you might well have just watched us doing our live video stream that we do once a month, and we're doing on Thursday evening as well.
And so, probably enjoyed it.
Hopefully you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hard to say for sure because we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but I've got a good feeling about it.
We've got something planned, haven't we, for it?
Something big. It's one of our most creatively ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious is the word. Yeah,
projects ever.
Yeah. If you do say you want to upgrade and go turbo, you will be able to get a link to watch it on catch up.
Yeah.
Along with all of the other live video streams that we do, they're all on there. Just saying, it's worth the upgrade, I think, for this ambitious.
Very ambitious. Very ambitious. I mean, when you think about really like out of the box, and I hesitate to say Sergeant Pepper because that's a bit obvious. But when an artist suddenly decide, or like let's say David Blaine hanging himself in a box, I would compare it probably most closely to that sort of thing.
I'd compare it to when Godley and Cream from off of 10cc invented a new box that you could attach onto an electric guitar, which meant you could play even more notes differently and better or something. Yeah. And it was called the Gizmo. And it never really took off, but they did use it on one or two albums. It's like that, I think. It's our Gizmo. What we're going to attempt.
I thought you were going to say when they invented that thing where you sort of morphed one face into another. Because they invented that, didn't they?
There's that as well.
What was that video for when they invented that?
That was for Cry. Godley and Cream.
And then Michael Jackson actually nicked that for Black or White, didn't he? Do you remember? And that was quite a few years later. He said, and I'm saying, those were in the days when Jackson premiered videos and it was an event, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was I mean, I'll be honest, it was fucking thrilling when Michael Jackson used to do that. And they'd say, right, tonight, 9 o'clock, Channel 4, you're going to fucking see Jackson's new video. It's going to blow your nut off.
There's been a few, or at least a couple on the repeats of Top of the Pops on BBC 4 on a Friday night from about 94, 95. And one of them was Earth Song.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, we got a massive thing coming up. We got Michael Jackson premiere of a new video. And it's Earth Song. And it goes on for like 6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's almost half a fucking show. Half of Top of the Pops is took up by these bollocks.
Top of the Pops isn't the place for that sort of thing. That's what in the 90s, Top of the Pop. That just shows that it was going downhill because that is not the place for a long video promo. And in fact, it shows that Michael Jackson's career was going downhill because he wouldn't have had to have been one fucking slot on a pop show in the 80s. He would have been like, they're doing its own standalone show and everyone would gather around. Mother, father, grandmother.
Yeah.
Little baby Tobias.
Like, tramps would be looking into like Rumbelo's window.
Yeah, and sometimes tramps would come to your home and ordinarily you wouldn't let a tramp in your home. But if it was Michael Jackson Day, that's what we called it, he'd like knock on the door and he'd go, I'm sorry, but do you mind if I come in to watch the new Michael Wacko Jacko video that I believe is premiering on Channel 4 tonight? And you go, of course you can, because it was like Christmas. It was like goodwill unto all tramps. That's what they used to say.
Of course you can, but it's only 7:35 now. You need to come back at 3 minutes to 9. Just before it begins.
Yeah, I don't want you stinking the place out before that, fuck's sake.
I understand. I'll go and wander the streets for an off.
I'll go on the street corner and shout at myself like I usually do.
Have a conversation with myself, and then I'll try and catch a bird, but fail miserably.
I'll try and catch and eat a crow.
Guess what I saw not 40 minutes ago while taking Oscar for a walk? I saw a man and he was walking two dogs and those two dogs were off the lead. That's fine. They were under control. I think they were quite old dogs. One was a boxer. Not sure what the other one was. But not only was this man walking two dogs, he was also walking a fucking owl.
Fucking hell. This feels like emergency podcast territory.
Well, the first thing I thought was, when's the next podcast? Shit, half an hour. Brilliant. He had on his right shoulder a huge white owl, which was fastened to his wrist via a chain so that it couldn't escape. And he was walking along there with his two dogs, just strolling along, and his white owl on his right shoulder, and living his best life. The owl was living its best life, moving its head from side to side, having a look around. Didn't do the 360 degrees. Didn't do that.
That's a shame.
I didn't get embroiled in conversation or ask anything about it, or why it wouldn't go all the way around. But a big white owl out for a walk.
Well, that's tremendous, and I envy you. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen some people walking weird animals before, but never an owl. I mean, I don't know. Owls they're interesting creatures because they're absolutely beautiful, but I also find them very scary.
They can be very vicious, I believe.
I'm confused about how to respond around them.
Yeah.
I'm receiving an incoming call here. So get rid of it. Yeah, sorry, I thought you might be able to hear it.
No, I saw the screen change colour briefly, but that's all I got. I mean, the only time you really get close to them is when you go to an event where they've got owls you can get a photograph next to, and they're all chained, aren't they? They probably have their wings clipped as well, so they can't escape. But you can get your photograph with an owl, 15 quid. And sometimes you can get it sitting on your arm. You put a gauntlet on you, a leather gauntlet, you can have an owl sitting there on you. But this is just sitting on the shore. And he kind of, I didn't speak to him, like I say, I had my earbuds in. I was lost in music, if you like.
You just looked.
And I looked, and he looked back at me, and he kind of gave me a nod as if to say, that's right. It's a fucking owl.
That's right.
Drink it in, sunshine.
You're not fucking seeing it. See, I would have got myself more involved in that situation.
Yeah, you'd have gone Britain's top journalist, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I'd have been fucking all over that. I wouldn't have let it would have been a big fucking tell me it situation.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if I had the earbuds in, I possibly would have engaged him in conversation, but I didn't, to my regret. But I feel as though there'll be another opportunity because he's fairly local. I don't know where he lives. I didn't follow him. But that's the worry, because I do know that we have got some listeners who are trying to triangulate where I live.
And now they go, he lives within the zone of the local owl man.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I took the risk for the benefit of the pod.
My daughter, she hates owls. I've said it. I don't get in touch and
hate's
judge
a powerful
her for it.
word.
She hates them, and she doesn't like really any birds of prey. And we were talking about it last night because I took your advice and started watching Spring Watch, which was a fucking tremendous tip.
Yes.
And I thought, there was some there's usually owls on it, which is nice. And I'm going,
you'll get owls on there, yeah.
I'm going, look at these fucking owls, and she's going, I hate owls. And I was like, I don't see what your problem is. Like, just like keep your distance from them and admire them. And
like wasps.
She reminded me of like the most traumatic thing happened to her. She's very shy at primary school, very timid. And one day the school arranged for her to, it was known that she disliked birds of prey. We knew it. And the fucking school, without any warning, said, we've got a special treat for you today. And in walks a fucking geezer with a massive owl, right? And they've gone, isn't this great? There's an owl. And she's young, she's like 7 or something. And she's shitting herself, but she was the sort of person, she was too timid to say she was shitting herself. So she just sort of stood at the back trembling. And the geezer gives a talk about the owl, right? This is a fucking owl. It eats mice. It can turn its head all the way round. What can I tell you? It's an owl. Whatever, I don't know how the owl talk went. And then they go, right, and now's an extra special treat. All form a line. Everyone can have their photo taken with the owl.
Fuck.
She shat herself, and she got to the front, and she said to the teacher, she was shaking. She said to the teacher, please, I really don't want to have my photo taken with this owl.
No owl.
I don't like owls. I'm very scared. And they said, and they did that. We've talked about this before, this whole resilience culture thing that schools are really into now, right?
Face your fear.
Schools used to be the stuff of like fucking terrifying boarding schools that only like fucking posh weirdos went to. It's like, yeah, we make them run in the snow every day and then we bugger them, but it's really good because it breeds the next generation of men to run the empire, the British Empire, right? Fine.
Hurrah!
But and then like sane people used to go, well, that's obviously awful and traumatic. But now in mainstream schools, they're like, you know what's really important? Resilience, right? And it's their fucking answer to anything. So if your kid has a terrible day or their cunts your kid or whatever it is, they go around and they go, well, you know, resilience, teach them resilience. So they've gone to right, you're going to have to put on this glove and we're going to put the owl on your arm. 7-year-old girl with an owl phobia. And she couldn't, at that age, she didn't have the wherewithal to say, I'm not fucking doing it. Do you know what I mean? Of course,
yeah.
So she did it, and we've got this photo. I mean, we can look back now and laugh, but there's a photo of her that they tried. I think they flogged it to us. You know what it's like as well. Fucking schools.
Yeah, you got to pay for it as well.
Oh yeah. We've you know your kid. She hates owls. Well, guess what we've done? We forced her to have a photo holding one, and now we want a tenner from you for a copy of it. And she's like, you can see the tears in her eyes. She was shitting herself. And that was a horrible owl experience. So then when we were watching Springwatch, she reminded me of that. And I said, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, you've been through a lot with owls over the years. I'm not surprised you've still got a trauma response to them.
Jesus Christ.
Talking of animals, we've got to make mention of a real hero who goes by the name on Twitter. I don't know his real name, I don't think, but he goes by the name of Dan Maku Daydreams on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Tweeted us in the week, said, I got mauled by an XL bully yesterday while listening to the pod, just getting prepped to go into surgery. He sent a picture of himself in the hospital, right, with his leg fucked. It was a harrowing experience, but it felt comforting listening to you both while waiting on the ambulance. So, yeah, he was mauled whilst we were in his ears talking about God knows what. And we've got more details since then because we've interacted with him. And it's a bad story, actually, because according to Dan Maku Daydreams, he was walking along with his dog, and this geezer, who he says was a junkie, we don't know, right? Mm-hmm. This happened in Edinburgh. And of course, all I'm saying is that is where Trainspotting is set, of course, so...
The heroin film, yeah.
Yeah.
No judgment here.
But, you know, I've seen the film. It seems like they do have junkies up there. And he said this junkie comes up. The XL bully goes for his dog, to Dan Maku's dog. Dan Maku tries to step in. The XL bully mauls him. Maul is a strong word, of course. It's also...
I've seen the pictures. It's tried to eat him.
It's actually a really good word as well. I mean, I do feel for Dan Maku, but it's being mauled by an XL bully. It's quite a statement, but it's impressive. And I've seen the follow-up pictures, and some of them are actually... I mean, when he sent the follow-up ones, I was pretty shocked. I was sickened. Yeah. I was sickened, but yeah. You see right inside his leg.
They said he nearly died.
You see the interior of his leg.
Yeah, the inside leg.
It was fucking mad. Anyway, right, I was at the gym this morning, and I told my PT, Jordan, who I do boxing with as well as like just general training, and we were boxing, and he went really seriously to me. I told him this story, and he went, do you ever think about what you do in a situation like that? And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, do you think, and he was dead serious, do you think you could knock out an XL bully? And I looked him straight back, dead serious, and I went, yes, I could definitely knock out an XL bully.
How would you do it, Sam?
I'd probably...
Just punch it in the jaw?
It would depend what position it was in. The best way to knock any cunt out is a punch to the jaw or the temple, but temple's a bit dangerous.
On the nose, like with a shark. It's the same as with a shark, I think.
Yeah, but the thing about when you punch someone in the jaw is it sort of rattles the skull in such a way that that they pass out.
Right.
Right. And so that's what I'd do. But it would depend. It would depend on what position the dog was in. It could be low. Like I don't know what sort of punch I could fucking land, because if the dog's mauling me or mauling my dog or mauling someone else, it might have to be an uppercut. It might have to be a fucking hook. I don't know what it's going to be, but the dog's getting knocked out. And I told him, I said to him, I could knock it out, Jordan. Yeah, I could knock an XL bully out. I said,
question.
And in actual fact, I could knock out much bigger animals than that.
A horse.
Yeah. He went, like what? And I went, a crocodile. And I said, he went, really? And I went to him, mate, why would you ask me questions like this? My kids complain all the time that I can't get through a day without making an outlandish claim about who or what I would be able to spark out. I said, and that's without any cunt even asking me a question about it. You've willingly entered into a conversation here that I can tell you're going to regret opening up this can of worms. Worms, that's another animal I could knock out, no problem.
You could easily knock a worm out.
I'll fucking knock a worm out, mate. Bang! Fucking worm giving me a funny look. Fucking Millwall worm, that's getting fucking knocked out.
If a worm was going to come at you, would it raise itself up like a snake that's been charmed out of a basket?
Yeah, they do that. They do that.
So the head and the neck is above the ground level.
Easy to punch. Millwall, there are certain elements at Millwall who learn to charm worms.
Charm violent worms.
Yeah. They do it in South London. It's disgusting. They've got these huge illegal worm farms in South London where these fucking toe rags train the worms, right? By playing flutes for them. It's horrible.
Jalapeño.
Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you wouldn't be hearing this brief but annoying message if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St. Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
Anyway, get well soon, Dan Macu Daydreams. You are the first listener to our knowledge to have been mauled mid-episode.
Mid-episode. I think there's been maulings in between episodes when we haven't been on.
I mean, you're not the first ever listener of Top Flight Time Machine to be mauled, but to actually be mauled in the middle of an episode is something pretty unique. And it's pretty unique. Thank you. I guess I'm saying thank you. Don't know. Anyway, get well soon.
Thank him and wish him well.
We do wish him well. I mean,
we wish you well.
We are having a little bit of fun here, but if you go on Twitter, you'll find it because we've been tweeting him from the Top Flight account. It is how would you describe it? I mean, his leg was shot to fuck. Chewed up and spat out. It's been fucking mangled. Did the XL bully swallow the bits of leg that it bit into? Because there's bits of leg missing. Yeah, because it's like meat. He took the meat from the leg, didn't he? Yeah. These XL bullies, I mean, some of them are pretty fucking nuts, mate. Yeah. Still, we better not get in touch into this. Say it's not the dogs, it's the owners. It's not the dogs, it's the owners, yeah. And I think the owners should be forced to give up some of their leg meat every time this happens. He might have to do some leg meat. He might have to get a fucking leg meat transplant from that junkie. Not necessarily a transplant, just an eye for an eye type thing. Oh, okay. They just have to give up some meat and maybe feed it to their own XL bully. Yeah, because if I was getting a leg meat transplant, I wouldn't want it from a junkie. I wouldn't. Exactly. Imagine having a junkie's leg. Fucking hell. Oh, no offence. No judgment. No judgment here. I used to drink in a pub called the Junkie's Leg. No judgment, because it's an addiction, it's an affliction, it's a disease. Junkiness. And Junkyitis, I just wouldn't want a junkie's leg. I wouldn't want a junkie's leg. If I was going to have leg meat from anyone, it would be someone sexier. It would probably be... I mean, when you think back at the great, most manly legs of all time, it's got to be a toss-up between... Stuart Pearce in his prime and Mark Hughes, huge muscular thighs. I'd have the leg of Bruno Tognoli, I think. Nimble but strong. Nimble and a mover. Yeah.
That would add easily add 15 years onto my dancing career. I think if I had a bit of his leg meat.
I mean, I think the greatest legs ever are Beyonce's, but I don't want to be accused of cultural appropriation by trying to get hold of some of her leg meat and put it in my pasty white legs.
No, it wouldn't look right. You wouldn't. You couldn't go out with shorts on then, because there was too many questions from passers by. Yeah, where you get that leg from, mate? Where you get that bit of leg there? Slightly darker than your usual. What's that about?
Yeah, it's like turkey meat, isn't it? You got your white meat, you got your dark meat. Look at the average turkey leg. Same fucking rules apply.
Anyway, moving on. Have you seen this news about the E. coli outbreak in Britain? That's happened
no.
The last couple of days. You know, we were talking about Ted Rogers and 321 on the Time Machine Odyssey on Wednesday. This feels very 321. An urgent health warning has been issued after an E. coli outbreak was linked to, inverted commas, a nationally distributed food item. There's E. coli going around. There's an unspecified number of people being treated in hospital due to it, but they're not telling us what the food is that's got the E. coli in it.
Fucking hell. Fuck that.
What? The 113 cases are part of a single outbreak, but the Health Security Agency didn't give more details about the food item thought to be responsible. 81 cases in England, 18 in Wales, 13 in Scotland, 1 in Northern Ireland from someone who got their infection while visiting England. But they're not telling us what it is. It is a nationally distributed food item. If you've got any speculation you'd like to throw into the ring, Sam, I'm happy to listen to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope it's not.
Could it be chips?
I hope it's not Tunnock's tea cakes.
Have you just had some?
No, but I just really like them. I'd be gutted if they were off limits for a while. And I tell you what, I fucking hope it's not peanuts.
Fucking hell, dry roasted peanuts, imagine that.
Disaster. I'm not sure if I knew a packet of peanuts, if they were in the house and the peanut desire came upon me, right, which is not an uncommon feeling. And that, you know, when there's like, you know, the type of bag that I get, it's the same that you get, it's the resealable grab bag of peanuts, K-peanuts, right? If there's one of them
for one night.
If there's one of them in the because I can get huge fistfuls like a bear eating garbage from a bin. That's what I look like when I'm eating them, just shoveling them in, and they'll be there in the peanut cupboard. And
full of peanuts.
If someone said to me, I'll be like, well, I'll get twitchy around peanut time, 8:30, probably watching Spring Watch, I don't know. I'd be like, oh, fucking
life.
I've got a bit of a peanut craving going on here. And then, like, my wife would go, but remember, Sam, remember what I told you? Those peanuts in the cupboard, I haven't chucked them yet, but I'm going to, but they are, they've got E. coli.
They're full of E. coli.
They're riddled with it. I'll be like, I know, but I
need them.
Desperate. And she go, well, you could go out and get some other peanuts. I go, but to be honest, I don't. All the KP peanuts, all I've read is that all peanuts have got E. coli at the moment, so it makes no odds. I'm just going to eat those peanuts. But you'll get E. coli. I don't care. When I want some peanuts, I want some fucking peanuts.
Yeah, well, I hope it's not peanuts. I sincerely hope it's not peanuts, but we don't know what it is. But what I will say about the dry roasted peanuts, KP is obviously your brand of choice as well as mine.
Yeah.
I tell you what's fucking disappeared over the last year or so. All the dust you get in the bottom of the bag.
Peanut dust,
They've eradicated the peanut dust, which I used to pour out, chop into lines and snort at the end of eating the bag.
Well, back in the days, I used to get, when I was in the magazine game, I'd get like an editorial assistant to blow it up my bum with a straw.
Yeah, and you go out, you could get someone to go out and just buy the dust.
Yeah, sackloads of peanut dust.
It's something like 50 quid a gram, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah, those were the days. We're talking, I mean, this is the tail end of New Labour, though.
I suppose so.
Once the coalition came in, it all disappeared.
Yeah. It was a good time to be alive.
Yeah.
So there, we might find out what it is. We might not find out what it is.
I know this is an election section, but we didn't. Are we going to do an election section next week? Because we didn't talk about that debate. We didn't talk about that debate. Should we keep our powder dry on that?
I didn't see the debate. I was at a gig.
Oh yeah. Well,
so you didn't miss much.
You didn't miss much, mate, because they just sort of shouted at each other a lot. But there was more. If you listen to our election section last week, you'll know that.
Are you deliberately misnaming it as erection section?
Yeah, I am sorry. No, it's not. It's not deliberate. Just change it? It's not deliberate, but I just can't help saying erection. And
we've had. Can I just jump in? We've had an election section jingle sent to us by Alex D.
Our, good man, Alex D.
Laureate.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear it?
I would. I'd love to.
Election section. Top flight time machine.
That's really good. That's great.
There you go. We can use that as a standalone theme tune when we do the next one. That's good.
Yeah.
There is one coming up. Oh, no, go on. You're in the middle of saying something.
Well, he was grandstanding again. Like, I think one of our favourite elements of the election campaign so far is the fact that mild-mannered Keir Starmer has started grandstand. He's a bit like me saying he could punch out an XL bully. I think that could be the next thing he comes out with.
Because in the manifesto.
In the debate, he started going on again about the terror plots that he foiled. He brought up the planes over the Atlantic again, but it was kind of out of nowhere. He just blurted it out. Hey, by the way, while we're here, I've got your attention, I don't talk about this much, but I fucking took that. He actually used the phrase "took down" terrorist gangs. I took down a bunch of terrorist gangs. I foiled a plot to blow up 7 fucking planes. It was fucking funny.
And that picture that's doing the rounds of me sitting next to Jimmy Savile, that's bollocks, right? Because it's not Gordon Brown. Someone's photoshopped Savile on it. So fuck off.
And as to this XL bully thing, and our next question is about recent stories about XL bullies. And the question is, and you only have 45 seconds to answer this, because she was giving them only 45 seconds, which was very frustrating for them and for me, the viewer, because they were asking fucking really complicated questions. And then the poor cunts opened their mouths and she was straight away, sorry, time's up. It was fucking insane. Right? It was really insane. It'd be like, what would you do about the XL bully situation? Starmer's just going to go, I'd fucking knock it out.
Yeah.
If an XL bully comes to me, one of my kids is getting knocked out. Simple as. When I was Director of Public Prosecutions, I knocked out over a dozen XL bullies on my own. And I'd do it again as Prime Minister. Next fucking question.
There's another debate tomorrow night, Friday night, which the leaders aren't in it, but it's got Penny Mordaunt representing the Conservative Party. Something for the dads there.
Yeah. She doesn't take any prisoners.
Angela Rayner representing the Labour Party.
Labour, yeah.
Something for the weird dads there. We've got... And fucking Farage is on as well. We've got Angela Rayner versus Farage.
What about the Lib Dem? Why don't they give what's his name, old Ed Davey, a fucking go?
They've got their deputy Daisy Cooper as well.
Oh,
she's on it. So and also there's Stephen Flynn for the Scottish Nationalists, Carla Denyer for the Greens, and Run Ap Iorwerth for Plaid Cymru. That's tomorrow night. I'm at a gig tomorrow night. I can't watch that either.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they're fucking chaos. They're stupid. I don't think they should actually have them. I think that it's just a fucking stupid American thing that they're trying to turn.
Yeah, we never used to have them. We didn't have them until 2010.
We didn't have them. And then everyone got really, we should do it like in America. Why don't they go on telly and do it? No one learns anything.
Halloween.
The whole experience is fucking unedifying. It really is. Because you come away, no matter what your fucking political affiliations are, just thinking, that was horrible, and it didn't reflect well on them, on us, on the country, or on political discourse. The whole thing was a mess. And now with all of these cunts involved as well, fucking whole gang of them, it'll be mayhem. It'll be utter mayhem, mate. It'll be like Royal It's a Knockout.
We had him in 2010, and we had fucking Nick Clegg standing up there every week saying, we're going to abolish tuition fees, and then he fucking ended up sharing power with the Tories on the back of it, and they went, sorry, can't actually do that. I know, didn't think we'd actually get anywhere near a sniff of power, but there you go. Sorry,
Fucking
kids.
Liar. Oh, yeah. And as Danny Dyer would say, where did he go after that? He had his trotters up at fucking Facebook HQ in a well-paid job, didn't he?
Still there.
That
Still
cunt.
there, the cunt.
Is he? Cunt.
Yeah.
He gets off lightly, because at least people still will slag off Cameron, rightly so. Yeah. They'll go, that fucking cunt, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, he was a cunt. But Clegg fucking facilitated the cunt.
He's the enabler.
He's a cunt enabler.
Yeah.
And he played the Mr. Nice Guy. And whenever he broke bad news, I remember listening to a speech on the radio quite early on where he announced austerity because Cameron made him do it. He went, right, cunt, you're fucking going out there and you're telling all these fuckers, right, that we're cutting all spending, right? We're going to asset strip the country, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to do it. This is this is why I let you be Deputy Prime Minister.
You've got to get your hands dirty.
Do you want the fucking job or not? And he's gone out there and he did this speech in which he basically said, right, we're stopping spending all money. We're getting rid of the state. So if you ever had a safety net, forget it. And by the way, there'll be no fucking libraries or anything like that either. Right? We're cancelling everything.
Cameron,
but he did it with a sad look on his face. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm actually quite nice, cunt. I prefer someone come out there like, you know, people like Thatcher or even Liz Truss, they came out with a sort of a defiant, I am a cunt, and here is what I'm about to do because I'm a cunt, right?
Yeah.
I find it more annoying when someone like Clegg comes out and goes, oh, I'm awfully sorry, but I've fallen in with a bad lot. These Tories are making me cut everything. They're making me do
this. Yeah. They're making me say it. Fucking Cameron, he said, like, early on in that coalition, he says, right, Clegg, he says, my team, right, we have, from Wednesday lunchtime after training, we have all Wednesday afternoon off and all of Thursday, and we go drinking. It's based on the Arsenal squad of the early 90s. We go out, we drink a fuckload of Guinness all Wednesday afternoon, and we have Thursday off. Any fucking important announcements, you do them.
And when we came back, we traded in bin bags to sweat it all off.
Big bags on, we sweat it out. Right, we'll have to leave this because we've got this so-called live video stream thing to do in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I think we've done enough.
We have. That's it. That's that.
Not time to talk about the Roy Keane attacker being found guilty, but we might cover that in the live video stream.
I think we should write a stage play about that whole thing called A Bit of Pushing and Shoving.
I'll put that on the list quite near the bottom.
Bit of Pushing and Shoving, maybe a musical.
Yeah. All right, thanks very much for listening, everyone. And that's that.
That's that.